Welcome to the LA Confidential podcast. I'm Christopher Elliott here with the boys, Aiden and Aaron.
Konichi, what's up, guys?
Hello.
Hello, and we are in Tokyo. This is week 4 in Tokyo, but we got out of town. Where did we go, Aiden?
We went to Yokohama.
Yokohama. We will have many details on Yokohama and the other place that we went to, which was a kind of detour to a place called Ginza, which is really popular with tourists.
Yeah.
And we'll...
Actually, no, it's a hidden gem across Tokyo. And nobody knows about it. And if you walk around there, you will only see Japanese people.
Oh, yeah, right. I'm sure. Before we get to all that, though, this week's question. Last week, we asked you what your favorite holiday was to travel, which was actually, it turns out, the wrong question because no one travels on a holiday. Well, and the reason that we were asking that question is because here in Japan, it's something called Golden Week.
Golden Week.
Golden Week. And that's 4 holidays rolled into one week's worth of activities. Yeah. So this week, instead of, we decided we were going to flip things around a little bit and ask you, what is the one holiday that you absolutely avoid? The one holiday that you do not travel on? Aaron, what's the one holiday you refuse to travel on?
Well, you know, Thanksgiving is always a big holiday for travel, and Christmas, if you've ever seen a Die Hard movie. So, I mean, I don't know if I'm too excited when we have to travel on those days, unless we're far away from anywhere, anyone, any place everywhere wants to be. Unless we're going to a place there where no one wants to be there. That's the only alternative.
Like going to a Muslim country during Christmas when it was just not a holiday over there, so it's like any other day.
Yep.
Which is okay, but traveling over Christmas in the United States or in somewhere in the Western world, it gets kind of crazy. Mm-hmm. So, anyway. General question for you guys. How do you like Japan so far? Like, Aiden, what do you think of... Japan is one of your favorite destinations. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I want to come back and go to Okinawa.
Yeah. I knew you were going to say that. Yeah. So, Yokohama. We went to the western Yokohama. Beautiful new property. Very close to all of the big attractions. It's kind of like in a newer area in Yokohama because it's, there's a part of Yokohama. It's a port city that was landfilled, and so now they have all these beautiful buildings on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the place is called Minato Mirai, which means future city.
Yeah, when they first said it was a landfill, I was like, geez, they used to have trash here, but no, apparently they just made new land.
No, by landfill, I don't mean like people like to use a trash dump. I mean like it was... They filled maybe there's a more technical term for that.
I felt like I was in Australia there because for some reason they call it the CBD, and that's a very like Australian, New Zealand.
I think
thing.
Reclaimed land is the correct term, so it wasn't like a trash dump. Well, anyway, it's definitely not a trash dump because on the first floor of the hotel there's a Rolls-Royce dealership.
Oh yeah, that was...
Well, you know, there are a bunch of businesses that are actually located in Yokohama. I know Isuzu, Fujifilm. Yes. Just to name a few. You know, there's Yokohama, if you don't know, is the second largest city in Japan. Yeah. And second most populous city in Japan. And it was also one of the first ports to be opened back when the Americans said, open your borders, we're going to trade with you.
Yeah, it's like more than 100 years ago. And you can find a lot of nice colonial buildings in Yokohama. Mm-hmm. But the nice thing about Yokohama is that it's a little bit more spread out. So it's not quite as compact as Tokyo. And a lot of people go to Yokohama because that's where the cruise port is. So if you're cruising and you go to Japan, chances are you're going to go to Yokohama as well.
And the good thing about Yokohama is that they have really good rail connections. We were able to get to where we were to Yokohama in about an hour, and it only cost us like $5, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
And then you can get into downtown Tokyo with only 30 minutes, and it costs even less. So.
Yeah, actually, we left the hotel. When we left the hotel, they're like, should we order you a cab or something? And there was like Rolls Royces there that could have taken you. And they're like, no, we're going to take the train.
We did not refuse a Rolls Royce, so we would never do that.
No. We refused to pay for a Rolls Royce.
It's so close to the train station, you can just walk very easily. So I like saying the word Yokohama too. Yokohama. Anyway.
Yo mama.
They also have a really good train station there. We walked around. It's I don't know why, but there are some train stations in Tokyo that are just, they're busy, but there's not much. Like Shinjuku, really the train station isn't the main attraction, even though it's the busiest train station in Japan. But Yokohama Station, it's like a mall. It's literally attached to all these malls, and they have really anything you could ever want. There's much more there than any train station, for example, in Tokyo. It reminds me of Kyoto, because Kyoto Station is actually connected to like 4 or 5 different malls nearby. It's very, very developed.
So let's talk a little bit about the Westin, because I was there on an assignment where I was doing a piece on wellness, but it's a new property. What did you guys think of the hotel?
Well, let me think about this for a second. I got a lot of words to describe it.
Have you been going to the dictionary to find words to describe?
Well, I was thinking like maybe it'd be fun if I describe it in like Gen Z terms.
Oh no, please don't.
No?
No, please don't. No.
Well, okay. Then
I know you're going to anyway.
It was a pretty skibbity hotel.
Yeah, right.
And the rooms were pretty rizzy.
Yeah.
Sprite, hamburger.
Okay, so anyway, the neat thing about this property is it was opened in 22, and it's very similar to another hotel that Aaron and I were at, the Ritz-Carlton in Fukuoka. In fact, it's the same builder, but very different on the inside. One of the cool things about it is that it's the first Westin hotel to have all new Heavenly Beds 2.0. Those are the new Heavenly Beds. So they really are into like wellness and sleeping too. So I got to ask you guys, what did you think of the beds?
Well, I can't say I was snoozing through the visit, but I was excited because they fixed a problem that so many hotels have, which is that they tuck the duvets underneath the bed, and then once you want to sleep, like
you got to rip it out.
Yeah, you have to rip it out. Otherwise, you're not very comfortable. Now they fixed this problem. The way that they fixed it is just by putting the duvet above the actual sheet in a way that would be different. Yeah. So I just, used the duvet, and I didn't even bother with the sheet underneath. Yeah. Because it's just easier.
Yeah. The beds were also skibbity.
Okay. Did you sleep well, Aiden?
I know, I did sleep very well.
Yeah, I slept well too.
They're very fluffy beds.
They are, yeah. They've got the duvets are very...
They conform to your body.
Fluffy, yes.
I feel like... Should I say that? I feel like if you get a BBL, they'd be good to sleep in. Because, you have this like new thing that's just jutting out from under, and they will conform around it,
So BBL is a Brazilian butt lift. And,
and
when you just get a BBL, this is true, if you watch a lot of plastic surgery shows, you actually can't sit down.
I'm surprised you're going along with
you'll
this.
have to like sleep on your front.
But also, I mean, they're so soft and conforming that you could probably sleep on your back after a BBL with these.
I would not get a BBL. But
you've
had several, so what do you think?
Okay.
All right. Who would you recommend should stay at a property like the Westin in Yokohama? Aaron?
I think that Westin Yokohama is really just a very sleek, sleepy hotel. It's in the sense that, it's not the center of everything, but you're close to a lot. It's chill. You can go outside, and the streets are wide, and you get a lot of space. There's a lot of focus just on a simple, practical experience. I think if you want that, this is the perfect hotel for you. Definitely.
Yeah.
There are a lot of hotels that they're just so pretentious and, uptight that it makes enjoying the experience difficult. And then especially if you combine that with a busy city, like, I do not envy your position.
Yeah. So Japan is pretty cluttery. Everything is right on top of each other. And the nice thing about this property was that it was a little bit more spread out, a little bit more chill, like Aaron said. And so if you want to get away, get a little bit of white space and breathing room, it's a good place to go. Yeah. And they also do the wellness thing pretty well. They have, they've integrated their menu, and they've done their spa and their sleep experience. It's all part of the same overall kind of package. So it's kind of cool. Aiden?
If you're really into sleeping.
Yeah. I would say so too. So from there, we didn't really know what we were going to do next, but then we found out that we needed to be back in Tokyo for in a very different hotel called the Yotel. We've never stayed at a Yotel. This
Yep.
is a relatively new idea, concept, and it's more youth oriented, or young people like to stay at places like this. And it's right in the middle of Ginza.
Yeah.
And Aiden, tell us about Ginza, please.
Okay, well, Ginza is a great place if you want a really like a hidden gem of Tokyo.
What?
Nobody knows about this place. And there's so much to do as well. Like, guys, especially if you're a tourist and like you want to have the tourist experience, but without a bunch of other tourists around you, and have a lot of
You
fun.
have the place to yourself, right?
Yeah,
It's just like a giant field. Actually,
there's nothing there.
Yeah, no one's there.
I need to say this one thing because it's very interesting. In some, I was reading about this. Some point in the 1800s, late 1800s, obviously after the seclusion period, Ginza burnt down. It was named after a silver coin, and they basically said, "Oh, we're going to rebuild Ginza." And so they rebuilt it, and they built it in the style of Chicago and New York. and you can still see some buildings that really reflect that. It was built originally as a shopping district for business and for Western businesses.
Yeah.
And that's what it's been since 1880. I believe that's when it was rebuilt.
And
it's been that, and it continues to be that.
Yeah.
It is one of the most international parts of Tokyo, and it's filled with luxury brands. So if for whatever reason, and I doubt you are this way, maybe you are, I don't know, it's just each to each their own, right? If you want to see lots of luxury brands, Ginza is the perfect place to do it because you're going to find the highest concentration there.
Yeah, it's all there.
It's all luxury goods.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like building their luxury establishments in like these really tall, thin buildings for some reason. Like each one of them has just this really tall, one by one, like really small, blocky buildings.
It's pretty crowded.
There's like 30 of them too.
Yeah, it's really crowded, and you will definitely meet other Americans if you go to Ginza because all the Americans go to Ginza to go shopping.
Yeah.
But it's not quite as cluttery as Shinjuku, which is just where everything is on top of you. But do you still, if you have a fear of enclosed spaces, this might not be the experience for you.
3 most recommended things to do in Ginza: shop, go to Don Quixote,
Shop.
and
Shop.
sit in your hotel room.
Shop. Yes. Everyone goes there to shop. Anyway,
Basically.
the Yotel. The Yotel is very different from, you can't really compare it to a hotel like the Westin. The rooms are smaller, a lot less expensive too, but the beds are very comfortable as well. But everything's kind of automated. They have like the robots downstairs that do the deliveries, and then you also have the automated check-in and check-out. This is a picture of Aiden here checking into the hotel that we see here, and they really do try. They have a very different clientele, but if you want to be right in the middle of everything, it's a really good place to go.
Yeah, another thing that I wanted to talk about actually, because we were talking about Ginza, is we got an opportunity to go to Tsujiki, which is it's not actually a part of Ginza, but it's very close to Ginza, and they had a market there. You and I went there just today. We never thought we would actually see a market like that. It reminded us of markets, outside of Japan, but it was way too hectic and busy to be like a sort of a Japanese kind of experience. You'd expect it not to be that.
More of a Southeast Asian thing.
More of that, yeah.
Yeah.
But so as the date of recording, this is April 26th. It is Shincha season, which means literally new tea. And so Ginza is a great place to buy tea because there's a tea shop called Senchado, and then if you go towards Tsujiki, there are 2 other tea shops and that are not Ippudo, because everyone goes to Ippudo when they come to Japan. So if you're coming here and you're looking for teas, and if especially you're here during the spring and you want to try Shincha, which is a specialty of spring, then you definitely want to check out Ginza, and you want to check out Tsujiki Market, especially for really anything. We saw a lot of very cool things like white strawberries.
Yeah.
We did. Yeah, we didn't try any, but we saw them. We saw a lot.
Yeah.
We also saw other items that you can't really buy anywhere else. I mean, not just that green tea, but
Wasabi.
We saw wasabi, at the marketplace.
Yeah,
and we
you
were
can't even
Real
find that at a
wasabi.
grocery store.
real wasabi.
Yeah.
But so we've been here for almost a whole month now, guys, and I wanted to ask you for your overall impressions of Tokyo, and also for the folks back home who are watching us, who would you recommend go to Tokyo, and also is this a good time of year to be here?
You know, honestly, I think I liked being here in fall a little bit more.
Why's that?
Because just the weather, okay, the weather was warmer, it was nicer. It's here right now in spring, it's a little bit
raining right
rainy.
now. It just started raining.
Oh yeah, it just started raining.
Yeah.
And also the tourism was cooling down in fall.
Yeah, I mean, the other
The tourism
thing,
is heating up right now.
Yeah, now things are starting to get busy. Yeah.
yeah, it's also better, I think, if you want to visit the mountains, because really, the mountains are not worth seeing if you can't see them, right? So you want to be there while the weather is a little bit drier, a little bit warmer. Things are sort of transitioning towards that winter climate, and I felt like we got a little bit more of that in fall, like
Yeah.
October.
September and October are pretty good times.
Yeah.
Yep.
In our last podcast, we made the mistake of asking the question, what is your favorite holiday to travel on? I wish we hadn't asked this one because the responses were fairly predictable, and we deserve all these answers. Ken says, for example, none, never, ever, period. Okay, thanks, Ken.
That's a
I
quirky
think
response, Ken.
we deserve that. How much do we hate traveling during the holidays? I think we're about to find out because we have
Yeah.
to fly to Laos on the last day of Golden Week, which is like flying, on Christmas Day.
That's going to be interesting.
Day after Christmas. Yeah, that should be fun. Jan says, I can travel whenever I want, so traveling on a holiday is a hard no.
Good one, Jan.
Yeah, Jan, again, we deserve that one. Susan says, least favorite is now. Easter weekend, especially in Germany. Everything is closed. Good Friday, Easter Sunday, Easter Monday, which means everything is packed with customers on Saturday.
Susan, that's a good response.
Yeah, I mean, the Europeans take their holidays pretty seriously. So traveling on a holiday, sometimes you'll find mass transit has like shorter hours and things like that. It's definitely not something that you want to be doing. We've traveled on a holiday in Europe before.
You know, the train stations
Yeah.
are the savior of Switzerland because
Yes.
if they didn't have them, then you would be starving on the weekends.
Yeah,
Yep.
because all the grocery stores closed down, so the only place legally that you can go buy groceries is the train station for some reason. I don't know.
Oh.
This is like a Swiss rule. It's been fun hanging out with you for another 20 minutes or so, and we're going to be back next week. It'll be our last week in Tokyo, so we'll wrap things up kind of. We have a couple of really cool places that we're going to be checking out as well, so we'll tell you about those too.
I will say it brightened up a lot towards the because out of the window there's like these heavenly rays coming out of the clouds. It just
Heavenly
began
rays.
raining.
Sounds like, yes.
Yeah, I just thought I'd
it's,
point that out because people are
it's-
gonna be like, "What happened to the light?"
Yeah, the light on this podcast is weird.
It's like
yeah,
being sucked into heaven or something. Trust me, we wouldn't.
You would be going somewhere else. All right,
Yeah, sure, bud.
a little bit lower.
You're one to
Anyway,
talk.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, we'll see you next week.
Okay. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Bye.